Valentine's Day is dumb. A holiday about love, chocolate, and, well, that's pretty much it. I know, how great. Not like there's any other holiday for eating chocolate, and it's not like you can love anyone any other day. Valentine's Day is just a day to remind the lonelies how pathetic they are.
I can't even lie, I've been lonely.
But you know what? I like watching cartoons, and I wanted to look into cartoon Valentine's episodes. So, these are my top 5 cartoon Valentine's Day specials.
Almost every week, we go there after soccer, and I see Miss Baker there all alone.
Thank you.
Totally by herself, and she's okay. She's just fine.
Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever seen her with anybody else before.
Number 5 is the Season 3 episode of Clarence Valentines. Before I talk about this episode and why it's on my list, it would only make sense if I quickly gave my thoughts on the show itself to give you all some background knowledge. Clarence is a show that was pretty great. A fun, down-to-earth show, just kids being kids. A standout from the show to me were the character relations, especially because of how helping Clarence was willing to be to everyone, even if they were assholes. The series focused on a lot of the characters, even the adults, which of course is always nice to see a variety of characters. So yeah, Clarence was a great cartoon. A lot of people pass the show off as another immature cartoon and that's it. But I recommend you at least give it a chance if you have not already to see that it's not just that, it actually has some heart to it. But now let's get back to the Valentines episode of Clarence. In this episode, Clarence felt bad for Miss Baker being lonely on Valentine's Day, so he wanted to help her out, so him and Sumo got her a date. Something I really liked about this episode is just the fact that this episode is Clarence helping out his teacher with love. I've seen episodes of shows where people wanted to help out themselves, or their friends, or even their pets with love, but their teachers? It's just a nice change of things and shows how great of a person Clarence is, especially since most kids would probably not want to help out their teachers with something like finding love. I also found it fascinating with the situations that they got into. The date that Clarence and Sumo got from Miss Baker didn't really know her that well, and everything was just sort of awkward and some things didn't exactly go well. Everything felt natural, like how something would go if two random people met up for a date, and the chemistry between them didn't feel forced at all. The parents and Miss Baker trusted Clarence, who may not know how to go about everything but definitely has the heart for it. The episode had pretty good humor, as this series does not fail to make me laugh. I don't think I have anything negative to say about the episode. It was a great episode of Clarence, which I recommend.
But you know what always makes people feel better after they get their hearts broken?
Lizards.
No!
Throwing a tub of baked beans at a meter maid.
No! Makeovers!
Pretty sure the right answer was lizards, Mom.
What do you think, Tina? Makeovers?
Sure.
She loves it!
But we should probably get a bunch of baked beans just in case.
Number 4 is the Season 8 episode of Bob's Burgers, V for Valentine's Detta. Bob's Burgers is a great show. I like how realistic it is, nothing over the top, and pretty dry yet funny humor with lovable characters, and I always find the conflicts they get into be real interesting. In the V's for Valentine's Detta episode, Tina is feeling bummed because her crush Jimmy Jr. is going out with someone else on Valentine's Day, so Linda, Tina, Louise, and their limo driver try and go on a girls' night out, and also try and crash their date. While Bob and Jean are out using the coupon Linda gave to Bob for a trapeze place. The characters in this episode I thought were really well written. In this type of story, you would expect the people trying to ruin someone else's day to come off as annoying jerks, but their actions were justified and had a good reason, that being Jimmy Jr. not even acknowledging the picture Tina made for him and instead Becky's. But then again, Jimmy didn't come off as a jerk because he didn't mean to hurt Tina in any way, and without spoiling the episode, I will say there is development with both these characters. I also found Tina being sad and always groaning to be funny, but still made me feel bad for her, and she didn't come off as a character who gets sad super easily, and we could understand why she was like that. I thought the whole episode was funny. Jean and Bob not wanting to let go of each other on the trapeze and holding up the line was hilarious. There was also the limo driver, who I thought was great and one of the funniest characters in the episode. I love how instead of your usual limo driver, she was just one of the girls wanting to have fun and was like, yo, who's this Jimmy Jr. guy? Let's fuck this guy up. Obviously, I really enjoyed this episode of Bob's Burgers. I recommend all the Valentine's Day episodes, but this one is my favorite. Number 3 is the SpongeBob episode, Valentine's Day. SpongeBob is of course one of the most iconic cartoons and, well, shows ever. From the quotes to the memes, I don't think I gotta say, it is such a hilarious, well-written show. And although after season 4, the show kinda started to suck, it still had good episodes. And the newest episodes of SpongeBob haven't been that bad, but seasons 1 to 3 are straight classics, and I enjoyed 4 too. I gotta thank Steven Hillenburg for giving us such a great show. Rest easy. But back to the episode, which in it, SpongeBob gives everyone a gift for Valentine's Day, but hypes up Patrick's surprise gift. But then when things don't go as planned with Patrick's gift, and SpongeBob just offers Patrick a handshake as his gift, Patrick starts to go frickin' crazy. The first thing I like about this episode is just seeing Patrick go crazy. That's something you don't see often, and I just found that hilarious. I don't think Patrick was selfish. I understood why he did what he did. Patrick looked at it as it was the thought that counts, but then he saw everyone got a gift from SpongeBob that was a lot better than a handshake, and well, because Patrick is SpongeBob's best friend, Patrick didn't feel appreciated. The whole concept of this episode is interesting. Usually you don't see someone going bananas over a gift, and I thought Patrick's lines were pretty funny, so I say go check this episode out.
There's just something about you. I almost feel like I know you already.
Who is this mystery woman, and why does she look so familiar? Watch the Hey Arnold Valentine's Day special, next!
Number 2 is the Hey Arnold episode, Arnold's Valentine. Hey Arnold is one of my favorite Nicktoons. I was entertained with the stories the show had to offer, but a huge standout from the show are the characters. Characters going through things like losing money, being mean to someone but you secretly love them and want to confess, being lazy but you have to get a job. All the characters really interested me, and the show definitely was not scared to get dark with its themes. Looking at the Hey Arnold episode, Arnold's Valentine, Arnold writes a letter to his crush, Ruth, anonymously to meet him at a restaurant for Valentine's Day. But Helga wants to go on a date with Arnold, so she disguises as Arnold's pen pal from France, saying she wants to meet up with Arnold, and then Arnold must go back and forth between the two dates. Although this episode sounds very cliche with someone going back and forth with two dates, there is so much more to the episode that makes it unpredictable and entertaining. Plus, the focus isn't so much on Arnold switching between the two dates and more on the setup of the dates. I mean, Arnold has barely even talked to his crush and has never met what he thought to be his pen pal from France, making his situation pretty awkward, and Helga wants to start her chances with Arnold as a new person, so Arnold can see her differently even if she is disguised as a new person. Point is, the characters gotta make the dates work, and it's not exactly easy. They are 9 years old after all. But the standout from the episode has got to be Helga disguised as this French person. We usually see her be all mean to Arnold because she is insecure, and she doesn't want people to see her loving side, so when she is disguised as this different person, she tries to get out her feelings for Arnold, as it comes off as sweet. The audience can see more of Helga's love for Arnold, considering the fact that Helga is always mean to him, and it would feel weird if she was able to say her feelings that easily as Helga, again because of how insecure she is about her feelings. I thought the pacing to the episode was wonderful. Showing the characters waiting and making the situations and conversations awkward felt really realistic, and I thought this worked really well as a 22-minute special. This episode is probably in my top 10 Hey Arnold episodes, so if you have not seen it, definitely go watch it.
All right, kids, I finished grading your papers, and the person with the highest score
Hello
is...
there, children!
Before I get to my number 1, let's say some honorable mentions. South Park Season 1's Tom's Rhinoplasty. It doesn't have much to do with Valentine's Day besides the fact that it is brought up that it is coming soon, but I found this episode to be hilarious. I loved how the kids wanted to get with the teacher, but she was a lesbian and the kids didn't know what lesbians were. It's a little rough because it was season 1, but still an enjoyable episode. Also, Recess My Funny Valentines. TJ, not being a fan of Valentine's Day, decides to make unsweet and mean cards for all the girls, but they see it as unique, and once they find out TJ gave one to every girl, they go after him. I found TJ's take on Valentine's Day to be real interesting, considering how most people don't feel that way about Valentine's Day, at least in cartoons. I also found it funny that when TJ tried to give the girls unpleasant cards, they started to admire him, but when they found out everyone got one, they just chased after him. I did notice something that a lot of other people seem to notice, and that is that the teacher is pretty out of character, since she would usually be supportive of her students' take on Valentine's Day, but it's not a huge deal. As for other honorable mentions, there are a lot of Nicktoons that got Valentine's Day specials which I enjoyed but are not on the list. It'll take too long to give reasons why I enjoyed them, so let me just acknowledge some of these. The Jimmy Neutron episode, Love Potion 976J, Invader Zim, Tack the New Girl, Wild Thornberry's Operation Valentine, and I found the My Valentine episode of Rugrats to be alright.
Honey, I tell this boy that you're very flattered, but you're just not ready for this kind of thing.
Thanks, Mom.
And if that doesn't work, 6 simple words. I'm not gay, but I'll learn.
Now time for the #1 cartoon Valentine's Day special, which is the season 4 episode of The Simpsons, I Love Lisa. The Simpsons is obviously a huge part of television, and although it did get bad, it still managed to have 10 amazing seasons, a good amount of good seasons, and of course a great movie. I don't even know what to say about the show. It's a classic, extremely quotable, and just a hilarious cartoon. I feel each of the characters are different to where they stand out, and there's a lot of relatability within the show. In the Valentine's Day episode, Ralph gets no cards for Valentine's Day, cause, well, he's Ralph. Lisa feels bad for him, so she gives him a card, but then Ralph starts obsessing over Lisa, and Lisa must try and get rid of him without breaking his heart. This is, without a doubt, Ralph's best episode. We usually see him act all stupid, and that's it, but in this episode, I actually felt bad for him, seeing him all sad and him only getting one Valentine, which was because Lisa felt bad. I don't blame Lisa for anything she did in the episode. She wanted to get away from Ralph, but Ralph basically acted as if they were dating, thinking a girl actually really cared about him. And, I mean, Lisa still felt bad, but didn't like him in a romantic way. But besides a few emotional moments, I found this episode to be pretty heartwarming. I should also mention that this episode was hilarious. So often, there is just a bunch of funny jokes. I think this episode is super quotable. Everything from the Valentine's I choose you card to Homer's advice to Lisa. Ralph had a lot of funny lines. Just watch the episode if you haven't, it's great. But anyways, that is all for my top 5 cartoon Valentine's Day episodes, or specials, whatever you want to call them. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'm going to end this video with a